watching Just the News. I'm Amita Balachandra. We start off with our top story coming in from Jharkhand, Ranchi. 2 people have died and 13 people, including police personnel, were injured after protests against former BJP leader Nupur Sharma's remarks took a violent turn in Ranchi. Now, a curfew was imposed in the violence-hit areas of the city. ANI has reported that the internet was earlier suspended till 6 a.m. today, but later it was extended till Sunday morning as well. Jharkhand's chief minister has appealed to the people to maintain harmony and refrain from participating in any activity that leads to crimes in the state. Yesterday, there were protests that were reported not just in Ranchi but several other parts of the country like in Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, Karnataka, West Bengal and Telangana among others as well. In the meantime, an update on what's going on in Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh police have said that they've arrested 227 people from 6 districts in connection with the protests that took place just yesterday. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has issued a warning saying, and I quote, "Strictest action will be taken against the antisocial elements involved in the chaotic efforts to spoil the atmosphere in various cities in the past few days." He also added, and I quote, "There is no place for such antisocial people in a civilized society. No innocent should be harassed," end quote. In the meantime, the Uttar Pradesh police is out with bulldozers in Saharanpur, where 64 people have been arrested so far for disturbing peace and social harmony. Now, Yogi Adityanath's office has said that officials have been given liberty and clear instructions to take stringent action against antisocial elements. In the meantime, in West Bengal, there is Section 144 of the CRPC that's been imposed in and around the stretches of national highways and railway stations under the jurisdiction of the Uluberia subdivision, Howrah, and that's been extended till the 15th of June. According to officials, the situation in West Bengal's Howrah district, which on Friday witnessed violent protests, was fairly peaceful today. Slamming the BJP, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has tweeted, and I quote, "Strict action will be taken against all BJP's sin. Why should people suffer?" End quote. Meanwhile, curfew continued in Jammu and Kashmir's Kishtwar and adjoining Doda district's Bhaderwah town without any relaxation. Restrictions under Section 144 of the CRPC remained in force for the second day on Saturday. Also, internet services in the entire Chenab Valley, comprising Kishtwar, Doda and Ramban districts, have also remained suspended for the second day. In other news, the BJP has won 8 out of the 16 vacant seats of the Rajya Sabha. The Congress, along with allies in Maharashtra, has backed 7. An independent candidate backed by the BJP also secured 1 seat. Moving on now. India was among the 3 countries that withstood Western pressure and abstained from voting against Iran at the Board of Governors of the International Atomic Energy Agency. Now, India abstained from voting along with Pakistan and Libya, while Russia and China voted against. Now, the voting took place just before Iranian Foreign Minister embarked on his India visit. Now, the IAEA's 35-nation board passed a resolution on Wednesday condemning Iran for its failure to provide explanation on technically credible evidence about the detection of nuclear traces at 3 undisclosed locations. In the meantime, mask mandate is back in the state of Karnataka, in closed places especially like shopping malls, restaurants, pubs, educational institutions, offices, industries, private vehicles and public transports as well. Karnataka has reported 525 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours. Telangana, interestingly, has also introduced mask mandate. On to environment news, an update on the Environment Performance Index, which the centre has now called unscientific and has rejected it. The 2022 Environment Performance Index is really an analysis by Yale and Columbia University researchers, which ranked India at the bottom of 180 countries. In that ranking, Denmark topped the list. Now, the EPI ranks 180 countries on 40 performance indicators, including climate change, environmental, public health, biodiversity, etc. In a detailed rebuttal to this analysis, the center has said that many of the indicators in the index were based on unfounded assumption, surmises, and unscientific methods as well. And according to a Hindustan Times report, environmental and climate experts also said that the methodology does not consider the per capita emissions and different socio-economic conditions as well across countries. News coming in from across the world right now. Amid rising prices of gas, food, and other goods, inflation in the US hit a 40-year high of 8.6% in May. Now, May's rise was driven by sharp increases in energy costs, which rose 34.6% from a year earlier, and groceries, which jumped 11.9% on the year. Now, gas prices have been soaring across the US, approaching $5 a gallon this week. In the meantime, from the 12th of June, the United States will no longer require international air travelers to have proof of a negative COVID test before entering the country. Now, so far, travelers were required to show proof of a negative test a day before flying to the US. Now, the travel industry had repeatedly urged the Biden administration to drop this testing requirement. Also in the news, the Indian government has decided to extend a line of credit of $55 million to Sri Lanka for the procurement of urea fertiliser. Now, this credit line was extended in response to an urgent request from the government of Sri Lanka amid the ongoing economic crisis, which is its worst ever since its independence. In the meantime, the UN warned the cash-strapped Sri Lanka's unprecedented economic crisis could develop into a dire humanitarian crisis, with millions already in need of aid. An update on what's going on in Ukraine, because the war is still going on. Ukrainian President's advisor has said that the Ukrainian army had lost up to 10,000 fighters in the first 100 days of the war. He further estimated that the Russian army is losing an average of 5 to 6 times as many fighters as the Ukrainian side. Also in the news, singer Justin Bieber has revealed that he has been diagnosed with a rare disorder that has paralyzed half of his face. Now, he said this in a video statement that was released on Instagram. He said he's suffering from Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, which is a neurological condition caused by the varicella zoster virus that affects the nerves involved in facial movements. Now, he said that he has postponed his tour till he gets better. Justin also said that he's unsure how long he'll take to heal. On to sports news, but this is also a positive news for the day. Young Indian Grandmaster Ramesh Babu Praggnanandhaa has won the Norway Chess Group A Open Chess Tournament. Now, the 16-year-old chess champion remained unbeaten through the 9 rounds and finished with 7.5 points. Now, he finished the tournament with a win over fellow Indian V. Praneeth, an international master. That brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Have a happy weekend.